The semiconductor rally would be on its last leg if it is not already over, and today Sandisk has just broken internal levels of support that would have allowed the reversal to materialize into something even more probable. So the risk of further lows in the case of this stock has increased exponentially. Today I will share with you the path that we can expect in this latest decline, the pattern we can still track for continuation higher, as well as the relevant levels of resistance and support to track in the case of this stock. Welcome to the trade setup, and to refresh your memory, we start within the slightly larger time frame. I'm actually going to hide a couple of these ideas until we get a better look at the broader structure. So we are looking to build a wave 5. We are within a wave 5 of a potentially already quite extended wave 5 of a larger wave 3. This one additional high still remains a strong preference for me, but only as long as the relevant levels of support within this white box still manage to hold. Today they extend down to $1,437, where a sustained break below this level would be a great warning of a potential top already being in place. Now, within this structure, I still prefer one additional high. This pattern actually still seems incomplete to me. And looking at the internal developments, well, we have been tracking a potential bottom to already be in place, but I needed to make an adjustment for that to be a realistic possibility. I needed to track this as an A, B, C pattern, where the wave B wouldn't have ended at the top of this relief. The wave B would have needed to top here to be able to track a wave C down, and the other interpretation that would have even defined our levels of resistance would have been this exact orange scenario, where I would have had to consider the wave B to have instead topped here. This would have been a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up. I would have had to track an ending diagonal, as within the wave 1 I only have 3 waves down. So in this scenario, I probably even need to consider something like an ABC pattern or an ABC pattern like this. Doesn't really matter. Still 3 waves down. And the levels of resistance would have gone up to $1,940. The 61.8% retracement, that has been reached, but only within a 3-wave pattern, and that is where the rejection has come. That is where a more substantial top has formed locally. That is where we could be looking for our 5th wave, one additional low within a 3-wave pattern to have started. With all of that said, the data strongly suggests at least an additional low. It's not a direct indication of a failure, as we still have room within this area of support. And don't get me wrong, it isn't as rarely the case as some may believe to even get a truncation, especially within the wave 5 of an ending diagonal. That is a possibility, but I do want to highlight that it isn't even necessary for this stock, as room within this white support zone is still present. Now, looking at the internal structure, I was tracking a potential initial 5-wave move to the upside. I had here a double 1-2 setup, and this would have been my wave 3. The levels of support would have needed to hold within this initial push down. They did. We even got a reversal, a pretty decent move up, but it wasn't enough. We have seen a push back deep into the levels of support that would have actually allowed an even slightly deeper retracement down to the 50% retracement. But already, breaking the previous swing low within this move would have caused too large of a correction for this to be a wave 4, for this to be a wave 2, even if it managed to hold the 50% retracement. So right now, the bullish path is not one where I'm tracking an impulse. It would have to be an interpretation where this last leg up, potentially last leg up within the white wave 5, would be developing as an ending diagonal. In this scenario, the levels of support would be extending all the way down to $1,575. This is not going to be a high probability trade setup, as I do not have an initial 5-wave move to the upside. I cannot even track a truncation within this move up, as even if I did have that one additional wave 5 in this structure, I would have still been missing a 4th and a 5th to complete this 5-wave pattern. So right now, I'm not really using this area of support necessarily as a trade setup, but rather as an indication of when I can expect it to become even more likely that this orange wave 5 would be developing, that we will get our last leg down within an ABC pattern. I do not believe it absolutely necessary. I have just shared with you a path that would technically still allow continuation directly higher, but it is not going to be a high probability path. So for these reasons, I am favoring continuation lower, and within this smaller time frame structure, I am looking for a 3-wave down to be currently developing. Right now, I believe we would be still within the wave A, and most likely at this point I would have to assume that this wave A is developing as a flat correction, not a 5-wave pattern. This would have been the wave B, and I am now tracking a wave C to complete this move down. This wave C, we can actually expect to go on for a fair bit longer, as I only see, in the best case scenario, 3 waves down, even once we complete this last extension lower. Right now, I believe it quite possible, even for this latest push down, to actually be still part of an even more internal wave tree, but to keep it simple, I would be watching out for the levels of resistance up to the 50% retracement, in the orange scenario up to $1,816. Again, it is quite possible to see more direct extensions lower. Not going to tread too much on that idea, but unless we get a sustained break above this level, the 50% retracement here, I will have to continue to favor even lower prices. Now, as I was saying, for simplicity, we have a wave 1 down here, a wave 2 up, a wave 3 down, a wave 4 up, and another 5th wave to complete this orange wave C. And once that is done, I will have to look for a larger A, B, C pattern to develop. However, this is where we can once again start looking for opportunities, as I do not know that we will not manage to build an ending diagonal in this push higher. Because if it manages to show interesting signs of a reversal, if it shows within a smaller time frame an initial 5-wave move to the upside, especially from this white area of support, I can still look for a potential 1-2 setup to happen. I can still look for a larger 5-wave move up within a potential wave A of the large wave 3. Hope is not entirely lost. This white wave 2 is still a realistic possibility, but it's not going to provide by itself a highly reliable trade setup. So for now, besides what I have already shown you, we can look for some additional structural support for this stock that would provide additional opportunities to form a reversal. This will be extremely important as the current decline is actually quite strong. It's probably one of the stocks that had the roughest time today. It's already down 11%, while some of the others have seen a bit of a recovery. So the levels I'm watching here, right below the current levels, $1,700. This is my first level that I can consider to potentially allow a bottom within this as an internal wave tree. Then, around $1,630 is my next region, probably extending actually all the way down to the 38.2% retracement to $1,615. But overall, this entire region will likely be able to help this stock in forming, at the very least, a relief rally, if not even a bottom within the internal white wave 2. But for now, this is about it. This is what I'm watching. So if you want even more from me, you can check out the Patreon. But yeah, as far as this video goes, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. And if you enjoyed the content and want to support it directly, check out the channel membership. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.